Hey what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a good day. Right, today we are going to be reacting to first of all no we're not jumping into it. We are not jumping into it now, right? First of all, right, as you can see, the editing
Perfect. That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
if you could consider subscribing, that would be very much appreciated. Second of all, right, I don't have my face cam.
Oh, Lord. Again. A fucking again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit.
Perfect, right? Great, good. Because because no one wants to see my hideous face, right? Good. Thank you. We are going to be reacting to share my story. My dad is a real serial killer. Oh, that.
You smell that? I smell cap.
So we are going to be reacting to this in about 3 seconds. In about 2 seconds. 0. Go. Come on.
One day, when I was about 8 years old, my sister and I discovered a hidden drawer full of women's clothes in my dad's closet. We played dress up with them, not realizing that they had once belonged
Oh wow. That cap.
I smell cap.
to the now dead victims of my serial killer dad. My
Still cap.
Cap.
father wasn't physically abusive or anything, but I always kinda knew something was off about him. I once tried to explain it to a school counselor, telling him that sometimes my dad would get so angry that he'd tell us, "You two drive me nuts. I need to blow off some steam or I'll end up doing something to you that I might regret."
Whoa, calm down, Jamal.
Then he'd run out of the house and disappear for a few days, only to come back calm and content. But this one time,
A few days. Okay. You already know that's bad. Call the police. Dude, I'm calling them right now.
911, what's the emergency, please?
Hello? Yeah, 911? Yeah. Can you please come to my house here? There is a fucking, Okay, police are on route to your location. What am I doing? Let me stop.
Dad took me swimming at a lake and I got tired, so I reached for a life float. And Dad just pushed it away from me. I would swim some more and started getting really tired, but Dad kept pushing the float away until I started crying out of exhaustion. The counselor said Dad was just teasing me, but today I know that it was Dad's dark side. I saw it frequently, like when I came home late from a movie and my dog Princess had disappeared. I asked where she was, and Dad simply responded, "She wouldn't shut up, so I made her shut up." And where is she now? Gone. You won't see her.
In the heavens.
I couldn't believe he had done that and cried myself to sleep that night. The next morning, I found Princess's collar on my nightstand, and it was snapped in two. To this day, I don't want to think about what happened. I used to think he was just mean, but one time he was driving me to school. He beeped at a bunch of college girls who were only like 21 years old. I was so disgusted when he rolled down the window and shouted, "Hey, cuties!" Afterward, he kept telling me for weeks how
God.
pretty that one girl was he'd seen. It was as if he couldn't get her out of his mind. One part of me hated him, especially because he constantly made us move states. When I'd ask him why, he'd get angry and scream that kids weren't allowed to question their parents' decisions. One time he got drunk, though, and told me that we had to move away in secret because there were people searching for us. But don't get me wrong, I loved my dad over everything. He often asked me how my day in school was, and when I told him that one of my classmates had called me fat, he followed that boy on his way home from school, pulled him into a forest, and threatened him quite explicitly. I know that because the boy told his parents about it, who then called the police. But all that's harmless compared to my dad's little hobby. We lived near a lake when I was around 13, and there was a bridge in the neighborhood which I hated. Dad started speeding every time we came close to it, as if he wanted to get over it as fast as he could. As if there was something hiding under the bridge that he wanted to get away from. Well,
Obviously.
one night my dad got really drunk again and asked me if I would leave him if I found out he was a serial killer. I responded, "I don't know, Dad. Maybe." "Well, I am one, and now you know." "No, you were just drunk. go to bed. What happened next was horrible. He told me in way too much detail how he had done it again and again, and I just listened in shock. Looking back, I can see that he was trying to recruit me as his helper. I think he wanted some strange father-daughter serial killer relationship, but I didn't get it. Instead, I went into full denial and screamed, "Shut up, Dad! Your stupid made-up stories aren't funny!" And then I ran out of the room. That was a mistake, though. Had I informed the police about my dad's hobby, I could have saved the lives of a few women that went missing over the next few months. Like, one time it was all over the news that some college girl had gone missing. Normally, Dad would spend his Friday evening watching TV and drinking beers, but this night he had locked himself into our shed. I was curious and...
That's how you know you must call the police. Let me call them again. Let me stop. Guys, please tell me to stop, please.
waited all night for him to come out, and when he finally did, he was all dirty and covered in dirt. Had he dug a hole in there
Dirt or
in
blood?
his body? I guess I didn't want to know the truth and told myself it was all a coincidence. But looking back, I realized that I was just scared. I was 14 and didn't know what would happen if my dad was put into prison. Would I be sent to an orphanage?
Indeed.
And how would the other kids treat me if they found out about my dad's crimes? I was petrified, and Dad kept trying to recruit me. For my 16th birthday, he gifted me a driver's license. I thought it was an act of kindness, but then he made me drive to a small lodge in a forest. He loaded something into the trunk and came back to the front of the car.
I know. It's your mama's body parts.
Okay. Here's one. Knock, knock.
And you had to look that up? I want to get it right.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
It's the police, ma'am. Your son's been hit by a drunk driver. He's dead.
Oh, no, you cannot joke about that.
Yeah, that's not funny, Arthur. That's not the kind of humor we do on this show.
Let me. Tubbs, shut up.
And said, if a police officer stops you, never forget to smile and tell him that you just got your license. Then they'll never search your trunk. Anyway, just a couple months later, I came home from school and there were police officers in every room of the house. Oh, deep down, I instantly knew what was going on. But hearing out loud that my father was accused of murder still shook me to the bones. I felt like I was the guilty one. It was like I had taken those innocent lives. And even though I didn't go to prison, my life still went downhill. Especially school wasn't the same. No one would speak to me because of what my dad had done. I think the parents of students forbid them to talk to me in case I was like my father, which was ridiculous, of course. By the way, I have visited my dad a few times in prison. It's weird, but he just asked me how my life was, and then we had a normal conversation. When I asked him why he did what he had done, he said, "Why not?" and changed the topic again. To be honest, to me, he still feels just like my dad. I was also seeing a therapist for a while, but I don't think I got any serious mental health issues. My only fear is that if I ever have a son, that he might inherit some serial killer gene from my dad and will turn out just like him.
Swear to God.
That's out of my control anyway. Let me know if you blame me for some of the murders my dad committed or not.
Well, that was interesting. Okay, let's switch it up to the next video, shall we? Okay. The next video is entitled what is the title? It says here, my psycho brother ate my dog. What a freaky. You know what? Let's just watch and see. I talk too much, right? Yeah, I do.
Hey,
I realized.
my name is Delara, and I want to tell you how I got rid of my psychopath brother.
Oh, pause.
He tyrannized my family for
Pause.
years.
Can you please
But
pause?
now he's gone. And yes, I confess,
Pause.
I did it. I made him disappear. Since I can remember, I lived in constant...
Guys, I said pause, right? Okay, good. I just want to make a little announcement, right? RP coming soon, right? GTA RP coming very soon. Beautiful, right?
Fear of death. When my brother and I played together, he would always put plastic bags over my teddy bear, as if he was suffocating it. And then he would point at me and laugh like I would be next. My parents knew he was an evil monster, which is why they never left me alone with him in the same room.
Oh, it's good.
He loved drawing
Look at
himself
that.
eating and crucifying other people. To make things worse, most of the time, I was the victim. So of course I was scared. I knew my brother wanted to turn his fantasies into reality. But luckily, I had my parents and my dog Tobias protecting me. My brother
Well, your dog is going to be Sunday lunch very soon.
had tried several times to break into my room at night, but Tobias always slept next to me. He was a very big dog. Unfortunately, that didn't save him from my brother. One day, my brother ran after me, and I started screaming for help. Tobias immediately came to my rescue and jumped onto my brother, threw him down and snarled at him.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Are you humping? Are you humping him right now? Stand back. Stand back. I pause.
But psychopaths like my brother are incapable of feeling fear. That's why he just grinned back at Tobias and said, "You will regret this badly." I knew it was my responsibility to protect Tobias from my brother, but I failed. My brother must have lured him outside and then Tobias was gone. I told my parents that my brother got rid of Tobias, but they didn't quite believe me. They said maybe Tobias just ran away. But the next day, when my parents and I came back from grocery shopping, my brother was in the kitchen cooking. He had never cooked before, and for some reason, he was staring at me with his usual evil
I told you. Sunday lunch. Didn't I tell you? Subscribe.
grin. Then he pulled out a big haunch and bit into it, while staring at me. The haunch was weirdly big. It took me a few seconds to realize that he was eating the leg of Tobias. In
How
that
do you know?
moment, something switched inside me. I knew only one of us would survive. I was ready to die. I first told my parents what was going on. But when they took a closer look at the haunch, they said it wasn't Tobias. But I knew they were lying to make me feel comfortable. Because a few minutes later, my brother told me what he had done to Tobias, how he had cooked him, and that he tasted like high-quality beef. Tobias wasn't just a
Damn.
dog for me. He was my best friend. And no one eats my best friend without equal retribution.
Too late.
My
Oh,
parents were scared of my brother, but I wasn't anymore. I knew if I didn't take action, I would end up like Tobias. To protect myself, my dad gave me pepper
you'd be the
spray
next to be
and told me
Sunday
to
lunch.
use it against my brother if he threatened me. He said the pepper spray was strong enough to keep off bears, so it would easily knock out my brother. But I had no interest in defending myself. I didn't want to live in fear anymore. So the next morning, I opened my brother's door and threw a heavy book at him and screamed, "You murderer!" He immediately got up and ran after me. I ran out of our house, directly into the forest. My brother ran after me, but I had 2 advantages. I was 2 years older than him, and I had shoes on while he didn't. I was faster than him,
That's embarrassing.
but kept him close enough that he thought he could catch me. 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles. I had never run like this before. It was a beautiful and intense experience.
There's no 3 miles running. Oh man. I eat McDonald's every day. Like, I can't run 10 feet. So, good job.
At one point, I stopped and gasped for air. My brother was right there, 5 meters away. I could see in his face that he had waited for this moment all his life. But so did I. I pulled my dad's pepper spray out, ready to use it against my brother, and end this once and for all. My brother started running away from me, but I was faster than him, and about to catch up when
Oh.
I fell and he escaped. Now I
Now
was
you are
truly
embarrassing.
petrified. I wasn't sure what my brother would do next, so I ran to my parents and told them about my brother and how he had run after me in the forest. They knew I was telling the truth. and decided my brother was too dangerous to continue to live with us. That's why they tried to put him into a special facility for violent and dangerous teenagers. But my brother had no criminal record, so they didn't accept him in. My parents' only choice left was giving him into a foster home, but they said he was too dangerous and a threat to the other kids there. That's why they decided to keep him living with us. Of course, we were all scared, and I was sleeping in my parents' bed from now on. I spent
Pause.
hours every night thinking how I could get rid of him. And then I had an idea. What if I placed a knife into his backpack and called the police to tell them he was planning to attack someone?
Smarty
I knew
girl.
he would accuse me of setting him up. So I also put a few of his drawings into his backpack. Then, during school, I called the police and told them my brother had told me he wanted to go psycho on his classmates. The police immediately arrived and took him into custody. And guess what? Now he is in a youth detention facility, and he will stay there for many years. However, his new home is only 40 miles away from where we live, and I'm scared that he will break out of there and come to get me. Because he has repeatedly sworn to take revenge on me. Because he knows that I had set him up. That's why I'm practicing sprinting and fighting every day. I always carry some weapon with me, just in case.
Beautiful.
My parents have also installed an alarm system to our house in case my brother tries to break in and get me. It's scary, but I know how to defend myself, and once I'm older, I'll just move far away, somewhere where my brother will never find me. And if he does find me, I'll be prepared. In fact, I sometimes hope he will break out and fight me. Then I could finally end this, once and for all.
Okay, once and for all, once and for all. What? Swear to God. I never shut up, do I? I never shut the flip up. Alright? Alright? Okay, I'm in a good mood, right? Let's watch one more video, alright? Let's watch one more video. Okay. The last video. Let me shut up. The last video is I lost my face. Did they cut off your neck? Did your skin peel off? Did your hair fall off? What happened? Did your nose fall off? What happened? Did your lips fall off? Did your tongue fall off? Your eyes fall off? What's going on? Let's find out in 1, 8, 3, go, 18, 5, 6, 2.
Hey, I'm Anika, and until the age of 17, I had a perfectly normal life. I was pretty, good in school, and in a happy relationship with my boyfriend Lewis. Well, at least that's what I thought. Because
What the
one night, everything changed. I was on my way back home from ballet practice when a guy ran up to me and threw a bucket full of liquid on my face. At first, I thought it was a prank, but then my face started to burn more and more until I blacked out. When I woke up again, everything was dark. I thought the lights were off, but something was different. My whole upper body was hurting, and when I touched my face, I couldn't feel my eyes or nose. My whole face felt like an old margarita pizza, and all I had left was my mouth to breathe through. I felt like I was trapped in a nightmare. No light, no face. I wanted to cry, but I had no eyes, so instead I said, "Where am I? Where am I?" It was hard to speak without lips, but fortunately my
You don't
right ear
lips.
still worked. So I heard my mom when she said, "You're alive. Oh, my love, what have they done to you?" She was crying and hugging me. After she calmed down, she told me that someone had thrown acid in my face, and it had burned away
Acid?
my eyes, my nose, and lips. So it wasn't a nightmare. My face was really gone. But why would anyone do this to me? I'd always been a very friendly girl, and even when my classmates made fun of me, saying I wasn't smart, I never talked back. I just don't like conflict. But my anger quickly turned to shame when my boyfriend came to my hospital bed. Even though I couldn't see, I knew how ugly I must have looked to him. He asked me, "How are you?" But it didn't even sound like he was worried about me. I could even hear a bit of disgust in his voice. It felt like he had only come to visit me because it was his duty as my boyfriend. Because after just a few minutes, He laughed again. I never felt so bad before, and this time I was able to cry. I could feel that somewhere under my skin, tears were forming. The day the police
How
came
the-
to visit me, they wanted me to
Okay.
describe what happened, and they asked if I had any enemies or if someone had threatened me. I told them I couldn't think of anyone. But 2 years earlier, one of my old classmates had threatened me, saying, "Be careful, or I'll throw acid on you." That was 2 years ago,
no.
and I never took it seriously. That girl had been jealous of me because I was in a relationship with Lewis. I knew that
But wasn't the guy that threw you with the acid? Guys, sorry for my stutter. But wasn't the guy that threw you with acid? Wasn't he a boy? That looks like a girl to me, buddy.
in my city of London, acid attacks were common within the Black and Muslim community. But I'm 100% white, and my parents are of Irish descent. After a month of investigation, the police found out what happened. They figured out that my old classmate who had threatened me 2 years before had an affair with my boyfriend Lewis behind my back. But because he didn't want to break up with me, she paid her cousin £200 to throw acid in my face. The police found the exact same acid that was thrown on me on her cousin's clothes. The police also took GPS data from his phone that showed he was very close to me on the night of the accident. The trial went on for several months. When the cousin was asked if he wanted to apologize to me, he started crying and said he was so sorry. But you could hear in his voice that he was only acting. He came up with one excuse after the other for why he'd thrown acid on me.
You are so
He
sorry.
even said his parents had never loved
You-
him, and he
you know-
needed the £200 his cousin gave him to pay off his debts. Listening to his excuses disgusted me. And even the judge told him to shut up because no one wanted to hear his lies anymore.
Thank you.
In the end, both of them got 20-year prison sentences.
No. 20. Maybe like 50. Because when my face got goddamn burned off, I think though they should be in jail for like maybe 50, 100 years. Yeah, around there. I don't want my face getting peeled off. Or even worse, my somewhere else. Pause.
But to be honest, I'm not sure if that's fair considering they've ruined my face for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
And
that's what I
if
said.
they behave well in prison, they might get out much earlier. I recently visited my former classmate in prison, the one who had ordered the acid attack. Of course, it was weird meeting her. I had no eyes to look at her directly, so all we could do was talk. I asked why she had done it, and she explained that she had always envied my beauty. She said it broke her heart when me and Lewis became a couple, and the only way to take him away from me was to destroy my beauty. At last, I asked her if she regretted what she had done, and she immediately said yes, because now she would have to spend the best years of her life inside prison.
Stop the
That's when I
cap.
realized that some people truly only care about themselves. She didn't apologize or anything. She only regretted being caught for her crime. I gotta be honest. I still sometimes get angry about what happened to me. It was such a senseless crime where everybody involved lost. The hardest part is that I'll probably never find another boyfriend. After
Yep.
what happened to my face, my now ex-boyfriend Lewis cut off all contact with me. And I gotta admit that
Damn.
this hurt even more than the acid attack. But it won't stop me from living the good life. My parents recently bought me a guide dog, and to be honest, I like him even more than I liked my ex-boyfriend. And even without a boyfriend, I can still get pregnant using a sperm donor and have my own kids. I just hope that in a few decades,
What in the
technology will advance far enough that my doctors can fix my eyes and face again. But luckily, there are many jobs for blind people like me. Right now, I'm working as a call center agent during the day, and I've also started practicing DJing as a new hobby. I guess all of us face tragedies and
Guess what? I'm also a DJ. Brother and sister.
evil in our lives. And even
Hey guys, I know I think I've laughed like 50 times during this video. There I go again.
though it wasn't my fault that
I
someone
know
threw
I'm a
acid in my face,
psychopath.
it would be my fault if I let it make me become bitter and resentful. That's why I'm not calling for retribution, but for more police and harsher punishments to prevent this senseless violence. Because right now, acid attacks here in the UK are on the rise. And some of the victims are less than 10 years old. Thank you
What?
for listening to my story. And let me know in the comments how you would deal with losing your face and becoming blind.
I swear to God. Oof. I don't know what I'll do. Because I can see. I don't know what I'll do. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please smash like, subscribe. Subscribe. I will see you guys in the next beautiful video. And I'm sorry for the face cam. Next video, maybe there'll be a face cam. But goodbye and good night or good morning or whatever. Bye. Peace.